Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Erica from the Classy Climb blog. I'm excited to come to you today because we have to talk about this. The United States fines TransUnion, Equifax for deceit over credit scores. Now, they're going to pay $23 million or something, minute or whatever. But here's the kicker. Credit is essential. In order for everybody in America to have a level playing field and all have access to the same opportunities, we all have to have access to credit. This is the deal. And so when I talk to people and they go, well, Erica, I applied for this, I applied for that, and they didn't give it to me. 9 times out of 10, I really want to say, I know. One, you applied for it kind of out of order, right? Out of the foundational steps. And that's why I usually work with people and talk with people, because I know that's what's going on. But 2, this is unfair. This is unfair. It's a bias. I know people right now who live in wealthier neighborhoods, but they get credit card offers all the time in the mail. Why? Because they're in a wealthier zip code. I mean, there's so many layers to this where I could just say, I'm not even going to call it a racism thing. I'm going to call it the neighborhood over there is very wealthy and full of engineers and doctors and people who work in this one sector of town, so they get credit card offers all the time. Okay, if you live over here and zip code something else, you're not getting as many offers, you're not getting as many approvals, and that's the rub, right? Because when I talk to you on this channel, I talk to you from the perspective of, if you can get you a $20,000 credit card, business credit card, or personal credit card, you can use that to your advantage to start a business. There are so many people you're seeing online, and you're seeing travel with points, who have had no money. College students and other people who had no money, no working jobs, and they got these actual cards. And so that's why I promote all the time on this channel about, 1, getting the foundation right, 2, finding ways to break through the system, right? And when I say break through the system, I mean, the fact remains is, I can just tell you right now, right here, some numbers, I'm gonna throw them out to you. The average American that is considered middle class can't come up with $400. And this is actually from the article, The Secret Shame of Middle Class Americans, okay? So if you guys wanna go Google that, look it up, you can. Half of them are not reading, more than half. I don't care what they tell the survey people. People are not reading. And when I do book reviews, people go, oh, thank you for that. Because they're not gonna read it, they're just not. Okay, so a lot of people have 1 in 3 men 18 to 34 returning home, living at home. Part-time jobs are like the #1 job that was created since 2013. 43% believe their income will increase this year. Now you ask them why, they don't know. They don't know, right? So you ask them, if an emergency happened that you needed $1,000 for, how would you get the money? 47% of them said they would have to sell something or they would have to borrow the money. So what does that tell you? There's a lot of people being affected when you don't have access to credit, when you don't have access to capital, when you don't have access. That's the rub. When I talk about my Asian friends whose moms basically had flea market, businesses, and when their son became 16, 17, 18, put them as an authorized user on their American Express. When he became 18, he didn't even go to college. He literally had a $25,000 business credit card sent to him. And he's been working for himself ever since. Now, many of you say, well, he does flea market, he does Amazon, he does FBA. Yeah, he does, but that's the difference. He's always had to answer to just himself. He's bought a home, he lives well, he travels well. What's the difference? He had a parent who taught him, for 1. For 2, she used the system in her advantage. She put him as an authorized user, never gave him a card. So he was building credit even though he wasn't even of age. Sorry, I'm gonna look over here. Oh, okay, sorry. Dexter, I see your stuff, I apologize. Well, the corruption was inevitable, a black box system whose purpose to keep people from gaming the system by keeping in the hands of a few couldn't remain ethical for long. Oh, of course not, of course not. I mean, even I have friends who work at Bank of America before the scandal and after. When they were giving Black and Latino people, high interest loans, when they would come in with the same money, same credit, same job as the white person, and they were putting them in these subprime mortgages, and then they had to pay for that too. I wouldn't be surprised if this video gets taken down off YouTube, but the point of the story is that was happening, and I knew people who were working in those offices going, hey, you sent this back. I'm gonna send it back to you again. Recheck it. And so that was people who were good. That was people who were ethical. That was people who were moral and could see with multiple clients at the same time that one was getting the shaft. That's why I tell you guys to work with small banks. That's why I say it all the time, because the small bank guy or girl, they really have to make loans to make those small banks work. And so if you complain a little bit, they'll be flexible, they'll bend. I even opened up a bank I always open up another account at another small bank here in Texas. Literally, I walked away, business credit card, business account, business line of credit application and process. Trust me, the smaller bank needs your business. Bank of America, Wachovia, having a bank on every corner because you want to save on ATM fees, it doesn't do you any bill. Now, with that being said, here's the kicker. With the smaller bank, you're going to be able to most likely get a credit card, right? Or they'll come up. So here we go. I'm going to do this. I have to say this. So we have the free knowledge. Everybody's like, I want free information. Well, right now you can go Google all the free information you want, but when you go Google secure business credit cards, guess what? Only 3 or maybe 4, if you're lucky, will pull up. Guess what? Every bank can do that. Every bank can have a secure business loan and put it on your credit card. Every bank in America, almost everyone. Now you're going to go to your bank tomorrow and you're going to ask, and they're going to be like, what are you talking about? Erica said that you could do this. Trust me, you got to go in there to the smaller banks with their business account and go, I really want a business credit card. And if you don't get approved, depending on who the person is in the office, they're going to say, well, you can just put $500 to $1,000 down in a CD and we'll give you a business credit card. That's my free information tip for the week. Go enjoy harassing all your banks. But look, that's the deal. It's a system. And everybody's, honestly, it's rigged. It's rigged a little bit. And so when I hear people say, well, Erica, no one will give me a business loan. Well, guess what happened? In the 1990s, a lot of people got hip to this. So a bunch of people started doing, barbershops and hair salons. Why? Because they knew they would approve them faster. They knew they would just keep approving them and approving them and approving those loans. And guess what the guy or girl who had the barbershop or hair salons to do? They take the excess money and go buy the real estate they want to buy anyway, or go start the other company they want to start anyway. And so you have a lot of these black firms, which there's 2.6 million of them, who will tell you SBA did not help them. So they had to go around the back door and get the money. So, I know many barbershop owners who own multiple things of land and they're never even stepping foot in their barbershop. Why? Because they just know the bank will approve them for a barbershop. They know the bank will approve them for a barbershop. It's a proven plan. It's something like, oh, black guy came in for a barbershop loan. Sure, here. You have to decide for yourself how to go about getting what you need. And a lot of people, when I sit here and say, if you look at the trend, being at a job more than 2.2 years and a half is long-term for people, that's real. That's really happening to people. So you have to decide in that matrix that you've been told, keep a job, keep a job, keep a job. You need to be focused on completely turning left and going assets, assets, assets. How can I get more rental properties? How can I get things that you are the company? You are the business. You are the model. You have to kind of make your life financially worth it. Does that make sense? And every time I talk to military people, and this is what cracks me up about military service, and if people really get the hip to the game, they'll approve you for anything with the LES, just about anything, right? And what happens is with government employees and military people, if you're smart, every duty station you buy a house, and don't turn around and sell the house. Now, what is the key to that? Don't buy the house the max at which you can buy, because then you won't be able to keep it. But buying a reasonable house every duty station and turn around and renting them out. I meet military people all the time who are 40 with 5 or 6 rental properties. One in Georgia, one in Texas, one in Virginia, the usual route for some infantry people. And their retirement is completely 100% different from the guy who just gets out and just gonna go find a job or go work at the post office. So you got to figure those things out for yourself. But so Mike B 28, I noticed my credit varied 50 to 60 points when I wasn't doing anything that I thought would impact it. Yeah. I mean, I'll give it to you like this. Prime example, secure loans and secure cards. Oh, yeah. Well, I'll agree with that too. Mike B says military people often don't have anyone to put them up on game or real estate. That's the key. You used to have a lot of old heads in the military when my mom was in, and would say, would talk to them and say, hey, you need to do this. Hey, you need to buy this rental, buy this house and rent it out when you leave this duty station. We have neighbors that live in my mom's neighborhood. They haven't been back in town 7 years, but their house stays rented out to military people every single year. Why? They have somebody back on base that they talk to, and it's kind of a posting board for where you post housing, and they keep military people in their home. So guess what? That means that military person gonna pay their rent on time. They're gonna keep that house tidy because they don't want anybody calling their commander or calling back anybody and messing up their flow. Same thing. I had a friend who is in Air Force in North Carolina, the Air Guard. I apologize. And his teacher, who was teaching one of his class on instruction, they kind of asked him, man, you 60, what you still in here doing teaching in here, man? You need to get out the Air Guard. And he goes, you know what I do on the week? I sell cars, not cars at a car dealership. I just go to auction and buy 10 cars at a time, work on them, and turn around and sell them. I don't need this money. I'm just here because I like teaching y'all. And he said every time he teaches a class, at least 5 to 6 guys come up to him after and start coming and talking to him about cars and how to sell and how to have a business. But that's what it takes. It takes somebody speaking to you and you go, oh yeah, that's a good idea, right? So I get the thing about military people, that's true. Why did they sue them? I'm gonna click back over to let me see if I can share my screen. I don't know if they can let me. It should. Let's see if it'll do it. Hold on. Well, crap. Well, okay. Well, here's the deal. My computer's acting funky, but it says basically, I'll read some of that to you. A lot of them were luring customers into credit services for free for $1, but a lot of times it costs them almost $200 a year, right? So a lot of times when you go get your credit score, it was originally, you're supposed to go get your credit score for free, right? You're entitled to your report all year long, but your score was something people needed to know if they wanted to go purchase something. And so that's how the companies have been making money. Now, let me scroll down a little bit more. Let me see. All right, here it is. Here's the kicker. TransUnion Equifax falsely represented that credit scores they sold the consumers were the same the lenders use. We all know that's not true. There's about 20 different variations. That's why when some of y'all pull your credit scores, some of them say FICO 8, FICO 5. There's all different credit scores. All right, so when you go get a car, and let's say your credit score is 620, they're like, oh, it's so hard, we got to work with your credit. When really any car you want, you need about 680. If you want to get all those deals they advertise for the car dealership, it's about 680. When you want to, let me see if I roll up, see if there's any other thing worth sharing. That's basically it. Basically, they tried to play like, these are your actual credit scores. I'm like, yeah, if you believe that, got a bridge I can sell you in China. So, I mean, it's like, they're not going to sell you what they're selling behind the scenes to car dealerships. Where we at? They have access to a good chunk of FHA loans. Who's they? Who's they, L? Who's they? I want to make sure we're talking about the same people. I think you're talking about military people, but I'll make sure. Wow, this is crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. So, I mean, like at the end of the day, the fastest way, and I'm in real estate, and I'm like repaying for my license this year because I forgot to take a course, so my bad. But the funny part is, and here's the funny, if we have people we know have no credit score, Hispanic, Latino, whoever, and blacks here in Austin and Houston, you know what we do? We go find them the bank we like, and we say, go to this bank and get you 1, 2, 3. We get you a secure loan, secure credit card, and if you already got a car payment, we leave that be, right? And then we tell them, just pay on this for 6 months and watch your score jump. And it's true. Some of them pay in 3 months and they score, and we approve them. That's all. That's all it is to it. It's 3 lines, actively paying, jump through the hoops. And here's the difference. Now, when you get on the business side, that's where I'm helping you guys, and that's where I always tell people to call the bottom. I'll help you. But it's the lingo you're using, because a lot of times we'll go in the bank, hey, blah blah blah. I want this, or I want a business line of credit, and they'll be like, nah, no, thank you. No, you're not approved. Okay, you didn't use the lingo right. And that's why when I'm doing these consulting calls, I'm like, there's a process and a way to do it that gets you approved like that. But that's their whole mantra is like, No, 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 no. We, you know, for whatever reason, it's no, 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 no. And I will tell you right now, my friend, and this is a little, this is a little funny tip. She put Lee's, not beauty products, but she put Lee's Wholesale Products or something company. She's not Asian. Let me tell you, her mailbox blew up with business offers, business credit cards, 0% down card cards. She went to the bank, and before she went in, she faxed all the stuff in like we practiced. She faxed it all in. She was approved. All she had to do was come in and sign. She could have signed over the internet, but she said, "Oh, I want to come in." She came in. Of course, you know, she's Hawaiian and black, so she looks a little Asian. But they were looking at her like, Lee's Wholesale Products is your company? Oh, yep, it's my company. And signed her paper and went on about her business. So that's in Houston, but that's just that tip. We'll just share that. So anyway, I'm gonna read some more of these. Might be Credit Karma is the score and average of all your independent. So Credit Karma, so there's a couple I use. I use Credit Sesame, Credit One. I really like my customers use Credit Check Total. And that's like, if you work with me, that's usually the one I'm recommending for you. That's probably the truest compass, because we could have you sign up for all of those, right? And soft bumps, free tip, soft bumps kind of move some of that negative stuff off faster. But you'll see a variation. You'll see like somebody credit score is 573 over here and 550 over here. And it's two different websites, right? Or you'll go over here and you're 620 over here, but you're 580 over there. So I just always tell people, if I can, and depending on what time frame we have to work together, like, let's get you going so that we can not only get you lines of credit and business credit cards, we can also get you personal credit. Now, it's all about the mindset too. When I'm talking to you guys on the phone, I know who's ready to take real action and ready to really kind of go for it, investing, doing what you got to do. Not somebody who's like, yeah, I'm gonna get these cards and I'm gonna go on vacation and party. And I actually had one guy do that. But he did get right in the end. I mean, we got like a $70,000 credit card for him, and he usually pretty much spent like 30 grand to go on a bunch of vacations all year. But we did end up buying a property in the year, so I mean, it is what it is. Military, yes, L, that is true. That is true. They do have access. Now, also, if you go, L, if you check out homepath.com and a lot of those ones, you can see where people have lost VA homes on there. And so they'll say, if you're a VA, if you're eligible for VA loans, like, you have first access to this house, right? Black men taking our community back. Yes, H-Town, true H-Town. H-Town cracks me up. I mean, I love you guys. I think you're hilarious. And I think 2/3 of the state live there for a reason. But whenever you talk to people in Austin or Dallas, they feel like, I don't know why anybody lives in Houston. And you're like, come on now. Don't knock a whole city. But anyway, Credit Karma is not accurate from what I'm hearing. It isn't. But here's the thing. When you're trying to clean your credit up and you're trying to kind of know where you're at, these free sites are soft bumps, and they kind of bump your credit a little bit. They fix like your negative inquiries. Let's say you have like 13 credit inquiries, but yet you're doing these soft bumps. Some of those inquiries fall off. Sorry, I got a cold and I'm talking crazy, but some of those bump off because you're checking with the different sites. How do you know if they're accurate credit score from? So that's my key. Like, that's part of this whole lawsuit. It's not, I mean, like, technically you will have a compass. Let's be really accurate. You'll have a compass of where you are, because I've had clients apply for a loan. Like, we looked at their credit check total, and it said that they had 640. We applied at the bank. The bank says you're at 620. So was that close? Yeah, that was close. But that's also more of the reason to get higher up, because all these times these banks are like, oh, you know, I can't approve you. But if you know you're within the range of 20 to 40 points, like you're in the 620 at least, it's easy to get people in houses. Now, let's even keep it more real. In Dallas, we have a guy who does a lot of home closings. He works with people at 550 to 580. Now, many of you say, well, I wouldn't buy a house with a score that low. Well, I mean, it just depends. If you got 5, 6, 7 kids, or you got 3 or 4 kids, and y'all cannot afford $2,000 and $3,000 apartment rent, and yet you can get a house and be paying $600 mortgage, some people will do it. Some people will do it at that low of a score. Oh, for sure, Dexter. It can't be 100% accurate. The thing about it is there's 20 different kinds. So are we applying at a car dealership? Are we applying at a mortgage? Are we applying at a business? Are we applying at a bank? I mean, that's how you get the different ones. So how's that? Here's my morning. I gotta clean up and all that. Keon, let me see. I mean, Keon, I'd have to look at it to know, but if you're saying the only thing you have on there is you have a short credit history, let's say you just started, that's bunk, right? Because let's put it this way. I could go to the bank if I was you, Keon. Let's say I don't have much on there. And I go to the bank and I say, yeah, I just want a secure loan. $400. I just want to pay on it for 6 months. Keon, in 6 months, your score is going to be like this, even with your short history, because it's something about a secure loan. It's something about a secure credit card. And there's something, if you put about $5 grand on a secure credit card, I don't know what it is, but it opens up the floodgates. It's like, you can't stop getting credit card offers. Now, that's for people who have a business, and that's a shortcut for them, I would tell them. It was such a bummer in a way. Yeah, it is a bummer. I mean, and that's why they got sued. It's like they were selling you this product and people are paying $200 a year almost to get these scores so they know how close they are. And it's like, nah. Only hard credit increase and one free credit report a year is free. Okay, so like let's say you're signed up for, let me see if I can find it up here. You can get your credit report all year long if you want, Dexter. Is the annual free credit report. But you can get like tomorrow if you do something over here and you're like, oh my God, I got affected. They are actually entitled to give you your credit report again. Like let's say you applied for Amex and you applied for something else and they turned you down. Well, you can go on there and say, look, FICO says the FCRA. Hey, I got turned down, or I'm getting ready to apply for a job, and they give you that one. Dexter, Williams. So this is the crazy part about Williams. I will say this, Dexter. There are a lot of Indian Williams, like Native American, and there's a lot of Williamses that came from the islands that were like Haitians. So I mean, even though we're a French country, you have Williams is just one of those daggone names. It's everywhere, right? With the credit report, can you find your score? No, that's the kicker. They've been making people purchase the scores. That's why it's been such a big deal that, okay, well, if people are purchasing these things and they're not accurate, you're lying to people, right? That's deceit. That's legally deceit. And I'll give you a little story here. I remember a couple white guys saying they did credit repair for like 20 years. And they're having a hard time getting their white and black clients the same results. This is a big old country white Texas guy. He ain't got no reason to lie to me. He was like, I believe it's a part of your zip code. I believe it's not, it's a computer technically, right? So it cannot just be you're black and we kick you out. But he said, I think it's really where you live and your job title and a few things that really impact. He's like, because there's just no reason. I have 2 truck drivers, one black, one white, and I can't get them the same credit scores. Clean up the credit and do all this stuff for them. So yeah, that's right, Dexter. That's true. So I mean, the crazy part of it is, at the end of the day, you have to have a game plan, right? And I remember working in this area in Austin, Texas, and Arboretum. Everybody knows this area if you're from here. Very, very like nose in the air, and people are working in engineering and they have money. And what the funny thing is, I would work, and all day long I would see, yeah, thanks, Dexter. I would see credit card swipes all day, credit card swipes all day, credit card swipes all day, no cash, credit card swipes all day. And one of my friends is like, oh, it's for the points. I'm like, nah, some of these people are living off credit cards. And that in itself is where the deceit is. And that's where it's unfair, because if you're a person starting from the bottom, or even immigrants have gotten credit cards faster than a lot of people I know. If you just are trying to open a business or do whatever, you should still have the access to the same amount of credit, is the key to what this whole video is about. But okay, Keon, what score would you say is enough to have in the credit world? If you're in 700, is there really a need to try to get like 800? Is there a point? Well, that's the point, Keon, is the mindset. It's like, what are you trying to do with it, right? Like when I have clients talking to me, they're trying to buy rentals. And I'll give you this tip for free. A lot of times banks will say, we need 20% down for this investment property because you already have your first mortgage. Well, depending on the bank, or if you get a portfolio lender who will carry multiple ones, sometimes they'll let you do 10%. So, 20% down, 10% down on a fourplex or a duplex, it's a difference. It's numbers wise. And so, yeah, you want to keep your score pretty good. And honestly, it's where you want to go with it. If let's say next year you're like, I lose my job and I want to start a bit. Oh, If you have a company and y'all know y'all need big supplies, not little supplies, like big supply stuff at one point in the year. Well, if you have to use all the money your business made just to buy that stuff and then wait till the next year it pays you off, you really can't get ahead. There's no leverage in that business. That's, net 30 is so important. I think people kind of overlook it. Like when we're talking about vendor trade lines, a lot of times people are like, oh, UPS and Quill and all that stuff. But let's say you're Amazon FBA and you're sending out 100 packages a day. Yeah, it's the difference of you staying in business on Amazon and the difference of you getting out of business could be that line at UPS and FedEx. It's a big difference. Johnny Walker, I just talked about getting a secure loan. It depends on where your score is at. It depends on what's on your report. Like right now, I could tell y'all to go out and get 3 secure loans from your bank, $600 a piece, right? I could tell you to do that. But guess what? If you got collections reporting every month, if you got a car repossess on there, if you got some things on there, we got to look at it. We got to know each person's different. Yes, the positive reporting will help you go up. But at the end of the day, it depends on what you're trying to get approved for. Are you trying to get approved for a car? Are you trying to get approved for a house, Johnny? I mean, I don't know what's your end goal. So I'm trying to like let it wait a little second and tell me what it needs. But like example, I had some friends who went on a vacation off points. They went to Ireland off points off their credit card. So that means every month they use their credit card to pay all their bills, their rent, their this, their car, the gas in their car, everything. It's like a receipt. They're keeping it for themselves like a receipt. And then when they get their paychecks, they just pay the card off every month. Well, if you spend $4,000 a month on a card, depending on which card you have with the different points, that just adds up. It adds up. It adds up. It adds up. So there's some good to it. There's some bad to it. I mean, it just depends on your game plan. Do you have any more questions? Let me know. If not, I'll just jump off. I want to suck up all your whole day. I know some of y'all are at work. I know some. No, Keon, that's the point. A secure loan won't hurt. What I tell people to do, I do them. It dings it a little bit, but if you do all of them on the same day, it's kind of the equal. Like if you're saying, hey, Eric, I want to buy a house in 6 months, and I need to work on this, and like it looks like poop, right? Your credit looks terrible. There's things on it, and we try to get it cleaned up. What we would do is I would say, all right, what's your bank that you want to do your mortgage with? All right. So your bank, let's say your bank is Ranchers Bank of Texas, whatever, we're making up a name. And you go in there and say, hey, Bill, I just want to do a secure credit card, 2 secure loans, and do it all on the same day. Now, here's the difference. Some banks, when you go with that secure loan, you give them $400, they give you the $400 right back. So you could literally turn right around and go, I want to do a second one right back. Now, some banks just hold it. But a lot of the smaller banks I work with, they go, oh, thanks. Here's the $400 right back. It's just the way it depends on how the bank operates. Each bank is different. So your loan, all you're gonna do is put $400 or $600. You're paying what, $40 a month? 6 months, 7 months, 8 months? Not really long. But yeah, it would ding it a little bit. I mean, the key on is having 3 to 6 lines that are accurate, paying, and improving. That's the key to get approved for anything. Johnny Walker, I'm trying to get a commercial property. Okay, Johnny, so here's the deal. With commercial, you're going to have a little bit of a difference because they're going to probably want you to have more of a business plan, right? And that's usually why I put together a bank book for customers to make it easier. With a commercial property, you just tell the bank, hey, look, it's valued at this much. I'm going to have 4 tenants, or if it's a 4-plex or something where it's like 4 plaza spots, I'm going to be in this one with my business and the other 3 I'm renting out. Or if it's a 2-level one where it's 2 apartments on top and a business on bottom, you just have to show the bank that there's multiple ways that this property is going to make money and not have anything glaring in your personal credit, because they're gonna look over there. But really, when it comes to apartments, when it comes to 5 units to 10 units, when it comes to shopping plazas, it's really, really about the value of the building and what is the money the building's going to make. Like, is this loan worth it? L, is it good to just have secure loans just in case? Yeah, I mean, you could. I mean, it just depends on what your game plan is. Again, like, I love people who they have a vision for where they're going. 2 to 3 years from now, do you know what you want to do? Do you know if you want to own a house? Do you know if you want to own properties? That's the key to it, really. Cool. Thanks for the info. Love the info you put out. Thanks. I track you, Mr. Gordon. I try to I just try to each one teach one, honestly. And I realized as I was going to school and as I was going to college, like that my family was different, but not like in like we're better than everybody, but just the fact that we kind of work together. We like, all right, farming is a bust, and here's the 80s, and we're all kind of smashed up in this big giant house. And then everybody kind of goes off military or becomes cops, and then they just kind of use the system to get homes and get rentals and like open up my first job was my cousin's dollar store when I was 14. And I think he used a credit card for that. I think he used like a $15,000 credit card to fill up that whole store. It was awesome. And so ever since then, I've just kind of can see, man, if you tell people, there's a lot of people that I talked to out of the past 57 phone calls I just did this past 3 weeks. That's how many phone calls I did. I love y'all. Y'all been great. But I did about 57 phone calls this past week. There's a lot of you who are been working a job for years, been making good money, and on paper, you can probably get y'all approved for just about anything, but you've got to have the vision, not me, right? It's got to be what you want to do with your future. So, I mean, I had one lady, like when I talk about getting a house and everybody's like, Grant Cardone says don't get a house. Well, Grant Cardone owns 4,000 apartment units, so he could care less. Either way, he's got cash flow. But when you're paying $1,000 to $2,500 and renting an apartment or renting a house. And one of my clients on here, she even got herself a mortgage in Houston, H-Town, as you say, and her mortgage is $347. And that's before you do HOA fees, but it's $347. What's the difference financially in 5 years of a guy or girl who's paying $2,000 a month in rent, or the woman who's paying $347 in a mortgage? In 5 years, she might be done with hers. Like she might throw some extra money on her condo and be done. And then I just have to worry about HOA. You guys renting a house or renting a car or renting a place for 5, 6, 7 years. In 5, 6, 7 years, you'll still be renting. Now she could turn around in 5 years and turn around and rent it out to somebody else and keep it moving and go into another property. It's not uncommon for people I know to buy a house over here, it's kind of cheap, turn around next year, buy another house. A lot of that is just having the cash flow, having the 20% down or 10% down. So, but look, I think it's important. People are kind of seeing that the system is unfair. Some things that people are doing are deceitful. And so as long as you know what to do next. So everybody, this is Erica from the Classy Climb blog. Again, if you want to talk to me, consult button is down below. Usually I try to make sure I put it everywhere I need to work on it. I'm going to put it in the comments to kind of help some people who say they don't see it. But at the end of the day, like, what's your game plan? What are you doing and what do you want to be doing? That's the best. That's the best I can give you. So everybody, this is Erica, Classy Climb blog. You guys have a great day.